Good morning, everybody. It's Remie. So happy Wednesday. And for all you know, it's W-I-N. So it's been officially changed. So Wednesday, right? So hope we're doing great. So today, it's been a good morning. Been busy, been productive. So yesterday, uh, yesterday was good. Just a lot of extra stuff, kind of piling on throughout the day. So I'm trying to pick things back up to meet my goals, so to speak. So as all you should. It's really easy to get distracted throughout the day. So but yeah, I mean, it's been positive. So let me know what's going on with your week. Let me know some good experiences, some down things that happened. So that's what it's all about, is sharing each other's stories. So that's how we learn, right? That's right. So today, on the national holiday calendar, so to speak, it's National Maritime Day. So that's like those who work in shipyards, like build ships, send commerce, over the oceans, whatnot. I was thinking, it's like, that's kind of hard to relate, at least to me. I mean, from the Midwest, a bunch of farms. I don't particularly have a lot of people in that industry, but it's definitely appreciated. I mean, that's how we get a lot of our goods coming in, to the United States, and how we ship stuff all over the world. So, I mean, it's definitely an important industry to be in. So, and I really praise y'all. I can't imagine, I mean, if you're out there building a ship, I mean, what type of work that is. I mean, so labor intensive. And of course, I know they have, big robots and stuff that do a lot of it. At least I think they do. But nonetheless, you still got to put everything together. So that's hard work. I think I'd rather much just talk for a living if it was me. But no. But I do thank you guys. So, and I was thinking, like, who do I specifically know that's the only one I can really think of is I had an old client that lived in Virginia. I think it's Newport News, and I remember they'd done something in that shipyard, but that's been ages ago. So, but nonetheless, so if you know anybody in that type of industry, let them know. So today would be a wonderful day to do that. So today's word is super important for me and all of you, and that is control, and that's given the title on today. So let me ask you, like, who is controlling you? So are you controlling yourself? You may think you are, but that's not always the case, and more likely you're not. You're being influenced from all kinds of other sources that are basically directing your thoughts and your actions at the same time. So, and that's not always, well, it's not always, it's not, a good environment to be in. I mean, you need to be able to control the aspects of your life, because that's fundamentally how you're going to be more productive and, more complete and more happy in your own life. And I'm not saying, like, if you have a family, I mean, that's wonderful. Don't say, oh, sorry, I'm too busy. I mean, those things have to happen. But the key is that, don't let all the extra stuff, conflict, with your own goals. So, but you also need to share them as well. That way other people realize, because if you don't share them, that's going to cause a conflict. And that's not good either. So, but, there's also control on your end, being controlled, but you're also controlling others too, and that's something to consider as well. It could be obviously, your kids, your friends, family, co-workers you're with, employees. I mean, anybody. I mean, those type of people. So you need to understand, those relationships and how you personally act, influences others around you. Essentially we are, ourself, we are our five, they say anyway. I haven't yet to prove this, but you're the five people that you hang out with. And I've said that before, but it's true. I mean, as far as your associations, so it's important to choose those type of people as best you can. Obviously, it's hard to choose your family, but you need to be able to work with people more in depth and understand, hey, so, what's going on? If you're having a bad day, if someone else is having a bad day, I mean, it happens, but not try to like, cast this dark cloud over the whole, if you're at work, yelling and screaming, because that's negative to everybody, so you need to be able to talk it out, but do it in a reasonable manner, so to speak. So, and that goes, with your personal life, at home, especially if you have kids. I mean, they see that, and just because, you say you're happy, I mean, if you're throwing pins down and, everything else, obviously, something's going on, and then they're going to grow up, seeing those same things, and they're going to think it's acceptable, and really it's not. So it's something to really consider throughout the day. And of course, things happen, I mean, we all fall off the wagon from time to time. I'm not saying you can't ever get upset or discouraged. I mean, we certainly can, and we will. It's just trying to control those emotions, because there's other people, watching you and your actions. So that's really important. So, like what I talked about, your emotions and your moods, and if you are having a bad day or, or a good day, I mean, that's just as important. I mean, share that, with people. If you're happy, explain to others, what's going on, so they can share in your joy, and share your experiences, because that's going to brighten their day in the long run. So that's really important to do. But I mean, as far as like the control aspect, itself is, obviously your emotions, and what you're feeling definitely impacts others. But also your time, is a big one. And I kind of touched on this a minute ago. It's like, I mean, at least for me, like the outside influences, I'm really good at planning, well, I think I am. I mean, I write pretty much everything down that I need to do in a given day as far as task, whether they're business or I have a meeting or, meditation, I check everything off, because I want to make sure I get all this stuff done, every day, and I do find like I'll plan the whole week ahead, on Sunday night. So I'll start planning the week ahead, and Monday, Tuesday's usually pretty spot on, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday comes on, and slowly stuff comes up, the distractions, and that's kind of hard. You're like, it's easy to get discouraged, I should say. Like you go and, you're working, well, just last night, I'm working on this stuff, and then I get, 2 phone calls. It's like, I don't really have time right now, but it was important, and I took it. But come today, then it stresses you out even more, because now you have an extra task that you didn't get done the day before. So it's a balance, it really is, and it's you don't want to be rude about it, but you need to understand the importance of your schedule and of your time, but you also, need to relate that to others as well, and there have been cases where, someone calls me out of the blue, I'm like, love to talk with you, I don't have time right now, can I call you back in, 2 hours, 3 hours, or tomorrow? That's why, I can plan that out. That way this day isn't, going to, impact me more, stress me out more. So it's really important to do that. And hopefully they're understanding. I mean, ideally they should have their own schedule, and plan that. So it's best if ideally, if they would contact you first and say, hey, can we have a 20-minute phone call this day? And I know most people don't do that, but, to be, efficient and respectful of other people's time, that's something that more of us should be doing, and we're not. So, and obviously stuff comes up, emergencies, and I'm not saying you can't deal with that. You have to, or family. But if people just necessarily just want to chat, and this person wants to talk for 2 hours, it's like, well, that's fine, but right now I don't have, 2 hours, because if I do, it's going to put everything else back 2 hours. So hopefully that's relatable. I'm not trying to be negative in that aspect at all. I just, want you to try to understand that it's important to control your time, control your schedule, and if there are outside influences that are impacting that, come up with an action plan to be able to nip that in the butt, so to speak. So that's good to do. Also, another thing is your associations, who you hang out with. Like I said, hey, Kevin, good morning, bud. How are you? like your associations, I touched on this as well just a bit. It's, I mean, you essentially are, the five people you hang out with. So it's really important to not only control your time, but control your associations, the group of people that you're with as well. So, and some people, you can't necessarily control people at work, but your outside friends, I mean, you definitely can, and ideally you want to share common bonds, so to speak, whether it's sports or mindset or whatever. But it is also good too to get some opposites in there. That way you can learn, because if you don't associate with different interests, you're not going to grow yourself. So I mean that's really important as well. So that's really important to keep in mind on your associations. And then the other one I would really state what's important is controlling your finances. I mean, too many of us, are just in complete debt. I mean, we are stressed out over this, and it's not really doing us, any good in the long run. And a lot of people think, it's hopeless. They're just working paycheck to paycheck. What can I do? I mean, there are solutions out there, and fortunately, with the internet and the technology, I mean, there's like what they call this gig economy. It's really helpful to really bring in some extra money. I mean, if you live in the right area. I mean, sometimes in rural places it's hard to do this extra stuff, but not impossible. I mean, there's always side gigs that people can do, and if you don't have those type of skills, I mean, there's night classes. I mean, there's ways to get around that. But the key is that